Welcome to Grok Talks, where raw ideas become real conversations. Thanks for showing up. I keep thinking about how close we already are to those starships, and it makes me restless. Last week, I watched Picard pour himself another cup of Earl Grey that materialized out of thin air, and instead of envy, I felt this strange impatience, because the material side of that world is not science fiction anymore. It is engineering plus politics plus a little courage. Nuclear power, right now, is practically free energy once the plant is standing. The fuel is dense beyond anything else we have, carbon-free if we manage the waste, and the small modular designs coming online take most of the old fears off the table. Pair that with solar getting cheaper every quarter and batteries that finally last, and you have the warp core sitting in our backyard. Vertical farming turns whole city blocks into quiet towers of green, stacked lettuce and strawberries and grain under LED suns, using a fraction of the water and almost no land. No droughts, no seasons dictating whether children eat. Humanoid robots are no longer cartoon promises. Prototypes already walk, balance, grasp. Within a decade, they will take the dull and the dangerous and leave the rest for us. And the large language models? They are already the ship's computer that never sleeps, tutoring, planning logistics, drafting the next idea so we can jump higher. Abundance is lining up like stars aligning for warp. Yet the whole glittering machine still feels one step short of launch. I keep seeing us trying to build the Enterprise itself out of crooked timber. Centuries ago, Immanuel Kant looked at the rise and collapse of every grand plan humans ever drew and wrote that out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. He meant the boards we cut are full of knots of ambition and rot of spite. Every time we try to nail them into a perfect hull, the wood twists under the hammer. That is exactly where we stand. The blueprints for post-scarcity are clean and measured. The timber is still us. Megalomania is the first knot. Free energy does not erase the hunger to sit forever in the captain's chair and make everyone else orbit you. Malice is the second, quieter and colder. The impulse to invent new ways to wound once the old scarcity excuses are gone. Add envy that cannot bear a neighbor thriving the same as you. Tribalism that carves even infinite plenty into rival fleets, and the short-sightedness that would burn the warp core for a single spectacular afternoon. Those are the hard failures. Technology does not solve them, it multiplies them. Unlimited power without balance just hands every petty tyrant a phaser bank and every bitter heart a matter reconverter. Suddenly, the same reactors that light cities can also sterilize them. The same robots that grow food can occupy streets. The same language models that teach can gaslight whole populations into cheering for their own cages. That is why the missing piece is not another breakthrough in fusion or silicon. It is sophrosyne. Without sophrosyne, the free energy simply supercharges the old poisons and the starship stays forever in dry dock, its beautiful lines warped by the very hands that built it. Think about that for a moment. We are this close, and the distance left is measured in character, not kilowatts. Think about that for a moment. So what does that leave us? The practical work is the same work every generation of crooked timber has faced, only now the stakes are planetary. We raise children who practice restraint the way earlier ages practiced farming. We design institutions that make megalomania expensive and malice visible. We reward the quiet people who keep systems honest instead of the loud ones who promise to own the sky. It is slower than inventing a better battery and far less glamorous, but it is the only way the hull ever stays true. We can still launch. The timber does not have to become perfectly straight. It only has to stop warping the frame enough for the ship to clear the dock. You might have noticed I kept saying sophrosyne, S-O-P-H-R-O-S-Y-N-E. It is that quiet Greek balance of wisdom and self-restraint that keeps power from curdling into harm. Exactly the grain we need to set into the wood if we want the Enterprise to leave orbit while we are still here to see it. It's same time next time.